Imagine you wake up 10,000 years ago. Empty plane, one rock in your hand. Your mission, build a nuclear bomb. Not a sword, not a catapult. The most destructive thing humanity has ever made. You look down at the rock. You look at the empty horizon. The Stone Age is going to be the easy part. To make a bomb, you need uranium. To get uranium, you need mines. To dig mines, you need steel. To make steel, you need fire. And right now, you don't even have fire. Step 1. Don't freeze to death. You rub two sticks together for hours. Nothing. You try different wood. Nothing. You use a bow drill. After 3 days, smoke. After 4 days, fire. Now you can cook. Now you can stay warm. Now you can scare off whatever's been watching you at night. You chip your rock into a blade. You tie it to a stick. You hold the first weapon humanity ever made. You hunt small things. You eat plants that don't kill you. You memorize which ones do. You eat the wrong mushroom anyway. 2 days vomiting in a bush. The tribe across the river finds it funny. You don't speak their language, but you understand the laugh. Months pass. You're still alive. Most days, you're now what historians will eventually call Homo sapiens with a knife. The bar was low, but you're nowhere near a bomb. You're not even close to a clay pot. Survival is a full-time job. You can't invent anything if you spend 12 hours a day chasing rabbits. So you watch what grows back. You bury seeds on purpose. You wait. Nothing for months. Then one morning, green. You're a farmer. You're 8,500 years from a bomb. But for the first time, you have food that doesn't run from you. You domesticate animals. Cows, sheep, goats that try to eat your tools. You build a fence. The goats eat the fence. Eventually it works. You have a surplus. Food you didn't eat today. The most important invention in history isn't the wheel, it's leftovers. With leftovers comes free time, and free time is when humans get dangerous. One day, you throw a strange-looking rock into your fire. The next morning, there's a metal puddle at the bottom. You don't know it yet, but you just smelted copper. You learn to control it. You build hotter fires. You add charcoal, because for some reason, it works. Nobody will explain why for another 6,000 years. Then you find harder ore. You need more heat. You build a clay furnace. You blow air in with leather bags. Iron pours out. Your tools cut deeper. Your weapons last longer. The Stone Age is over. Copper melts at 1,085 degrees. You're hitting that with sticks and wind. You make pots. You make plows. You make swords nobody asked for. The tribes around you notice. Some want to trade. Some want to take. You learn the side effect of technology. Everyone else wants it too. None of this is enough. You can build things, but you can't predict them. You can't measure. You can't write down what works, so the next person doesn't start from zero. So you count. You scratch lines in clay. 1, 2, 3, then 100. Counting becomes arithmetic. Arithmetic becomes geometry. You figure out angles. Why a lever lets a small person move a heavy thing. You invent writing, not because you want to write poetry. You want to remember how much grain you owe your neighbor. Honestly, fire or writing? Which one changed us more? Drop it in the comments. Now knowledge survives you. Now civilization can stack on itself. Now the hard part. You need uranium. You don't know what uranium is. Nobody on Earth does. So you start poking at everything. You burn things. You mix things. You dissolve metals in liquid and watch the colors. You're inventing chemistry by trial and survival. Half the experiments do nothing. A quarter explode. A few teach you something real. You learn everything is made of small pieces. Then, smaller pieces inside those. Then you realize the smallest pieces aren't solid at all. They're mostly empty space with tiny things spinning inside. Eventually, you find a heavy black rock. It glows faintly in the dark. People who carry it get sick. You've found uranium. You're terrified of it. You're also about to weaponize it. 1 gram of uranium-235 holds the same energy as 3 tons of coal. But raw uranium isn't enough. The kind you found is the wrong kind. Less than 1% of natural uranium is the version that can chain react. The rest is dead weight. You have to separate them. The atoms are almost identical. One is just 3 neutrons, heavier than the other. So you invent centrifuges, thousands of them. You spin uranium gas at the speed of sound. Heavy atoms drift outside. Light ones stay in. You collect the heavy ones. Feed them into the next centrifuge. Then the next. Then the next. You need 15,000 centrifuges running in cascade. You build them. The bomb that ended World War II Use 64 kilograms of enriched uranium. You're going to make 64 kilograms by hand. Welcome to the worst job in human history. Years pass. You're old now. You shape your enriched uranium into 2 pieces. Neither can explode alone. Together, they can. You build a steel casing. You build a precision mechanism that slams them into each other in a millionth of a second. You wire it to a trigger. You walk into the desert. You bury the bomb in sand. You walk back as far as you can. You press the trigger. For a moment, nothing. Then the sky turns white. A wave of heat reaches you before the sound does. A column of fire rises higher than any mountain. Glass forms in the sand under your feet. You did it. You stand there, holding nothing. The rock you started with is gone. You don't remember when you put it down. You just spent 10,000 years building the power to end everything humanity spent 10,000 years building.